Hey, so it's Dana LeRae, and we're going to finish up that other episode I was telling you all about special guest, Cash. He was on set. I'm like, you want to help me do a video? He agreed. He's here. So in the last video, I was telling you all how a young man was trying to court me, right? And I didn't feel like we were compatible. I felt like we didn't have the same frequency as far as how we choose to live our lives or how we choose to express ourselves, right? So I tell the young man that while he's actively trying to court me, I ask him one question that I make it my business to ask, especially when men are interested in me, because I feel like people have to normalize. They don't have to do anything, but I like to normalize what you see is what you get. So I asked this young man in the last episode, I'm just gonna do a quick recap. I was like, so how do you feel about how I carry myself, how I have my brand, who I am, you know, how I give myself to the world. I'm a speaker, I'm not shy to, sometimes I can dress a little bit sexier. I didn't mention that to him, but I'm thinking that in my mind with that while I'm guiding the question. And he's like, so no, like if you were my girl and we were in a relationship, we would have to tone some of that down. He goes to my Instagram and literally goes to all the posts that he does not approve of. And I'm like, this is a handful of a lot of posts. So we basically leave off on this note in the last episode where I'm telling him, wouldn't it be more becoming of you to find somebody that probably already dressed aesthetically pleasing to your liking? Why would you come take a walk on the wild side? It doesn't seem like me and you like the same things as far as how the other sex carries one another. Or carries themselves, excuse me. So he kind of leaves things foggy, like, oh, it's not a big deal. Like, I don't want to control you. That was his exact wording. I don't want to control you. He was like, I would just think that you would want to, not do that if we were to be in a relationship. And I'm like, not do what? And he's like, he's thinking, okay, she's doing this for the male gaze. This is so she can attract a mate. First off, thank God, yes, that helps. But no, how I dress is really a part of who I am. How I speak is who I am. How I carry myself is who I am. I'm being me. So you hoping that me changing, slim to none. And we leave it at that note. And I kind of tell him, like, I think you should really heed what I'm telling you. It's not giving Bob the Builder. It's not giving Project. I'm not going to need you to want to change anything about me. He decides to keep persisting, right? And every step of the way, I'm just like, I don't think this is great. I don't think this is a good idea. I go out to Chicago for my birthday that recently just passed, and he asked me on my birthday, like, hey, what are you up to? I'm like, I'm gonna go out to dinner. One of my friends just called me out, and he's just like, oh, I was gonna take you out. I'm like, you can join us, because at this point we should be interacting as friends. Like, I've already stated to you, based off your thought process around me changing in a hypothetical relationship how I dress, and based off your family not maybe so much approving of it, maybe it's not a good idea for you to keep persisting towards something that's going to be so problematic if it was to continue. So he decides to meet me he's more than welcome. Like I said, he's a friend of a friend. So I met him on a friend basis anyway. It's not, I'm like, you can join us going out to eat if you'd like. So he pulls up on me and my best friend. She's treating me to dinner for my birthday, and he decides to join us. Now, when he joins us, we all having good conversation. We all have a nice glass of wine, and we're at this Mediterranean spot that we really enjoy, right? This is cute, but the guy's a little bit unorthodox. He's a little all over the place. And he's talking to us, and he's just like, oh, I told my parents about you. And me and my friend look at each other like, told them what? And he's like, oh, no, I told them about you. Like, they really like you. And I'm like, what do they like about me? He was like, well, I told them about how you were and how you behave and kind of like how you carry yourself. And I showed my mom your Instagram. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, I was like, how did that go? He's like, my mom didn't believe me. I'm like, didn't believe you? Like, what do you mean? She didn't believe that, my mom didn't believe me and you talked. She thought I was making it up. So me and my friend look at each other like, this is a very awkward moment, because why is he out loud admitting this? But okay, let's roll with it. I'm like, why didn't she believe it? He was like, she just didn't think I could, she didn't believe I could bag you. Or I'm like, thinking to myself, like, but you didn't bag me. So me and my friend are kind of looking at each other like, but I thought me and you kind of left off on the friend notion. And he's like, yeah, but I mean, at the same time, he was like, I told her we were talking. We're not actively, let's not even fixate on that. His mom didn't have any issue with how I looked on my Instagram. She had no problem with my brand, how I dressed, none of that. The fact that she was in disbelief that me and you were communicating on that level, to me was more crazy than anything. Because you're worried about her being like, this girl is, you know, oh my goodness, the way she carries herself is unacceptable. Whole time she's over here like, you ain't bagging that. So obviously mama likes a bad bitch, right? Crazy, because I tried to get you to lean into that when you first told me that. Like, if you like something, like it. Like, don't worry about what the world thinks of it, or don't worry about trying to control or change it. So he continues to talk, and he's just like, yeah, so we good on that note. And I'm looking at him like, first off, your mama was never the problem. She cool. Like, you know what I mean? Even if she didn't approve of me, she wouldn't have the final say. You would have anyway. The issue is you authentically want to change something about me. So he continues to talk, and it's like the more he's talking, the more I'm understanding we're so not compatible. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, in the sense of, this would be so forced. And I really would like him to acknowledge that I'm offering this friendship position, because he's actually a great person, good heart, great like brand. He has a lot going for himself. Like I said, my male friend is best friends with him, so I know he's a good person. And he continues on, and he's talking about, you know, like how much he kind of like, he's kind of trying to change the narrative to now he approves of how I look and how I carry myself. And I'm thinking to myself, like, not your mama needed to tell you she was fine with it for you to think these things. But he continues on, and he starts to tell me things like, he's just kind of randomly rattling off facts and figures that I've already made my mind on the decision. And I think the reason why I sat and I really made this piece is because what you see is what you get, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with having a preference, right? But I think when you go so far out of your wants or your acceptance for what you would like in a partnership, it can cause so much havoc to the other person. And I think the reason why I'm so liberated in telling men when they are trying to get my attention, right, Cash? I'm non-conventional in the sense that I have a big heart, I'm accepting, I'm loving, I'm kind, but there's a level of freedom that I allow myself and other people that are in my lives. And I feel like I've had to learn that freedom through standing up for myself, to be myself in like any circumstance. Like, there's been plenty of times where, you know, my authentic self has had to be challenged, whether it's been my grandmother, whether it's been a job, whether it's been not so much relationships. I've gotten very lucky. Okay, Cash, you gonna let me finish? I've gotten very blessed in making sure the men that come around me and that decide to be in my life accept me as who I am, because you liked what you saw. And if you didn't like it to the degree that you should have, it's going to come out. And I always choose my partnerships on authenticity. Like, it's the same energy that I give back to a man. Like, that's like me actively trying to date somebody that has a whole brand around marijuana, right? Has a whole brand around weed, like a Wiz Khalifa, like smoker, right? Like, this is what they enjoy, this is what they love. This is like me coming around and being like, you know what would be so great after we got together if you kind of slowed down on the weed thing. It's like, but that's a key piece of their identity. This is what they enjoy, this is what they love. Why didn't I just go for a man that doesn't want to smoke a blunt? Do you see what I'm saying? And I've been very blessed to weave through that energy so I can stay my authentic self, so I can be on this camera and speak fluidly from my heart. But I think the thing that's so interesting is when you are authentic, you tend to attract a lot of people that have not, for whatever reason, sat into their truth and their authenticity. And maybe it's an admiration. Maybe they're looking at you like, okay, you could do this, you could do that. Or maybe it's a need to want to control what they have not been able to master within themselves. I don't really know where that comes from, but I hope this message, whoever it finds, it resonates in the way where we start to normalize loving ourselves enough to denounce things that want to change our core essence. I really like Dana LeRae. I love Dana LeRae. Like how she carries herself, who she is. I'm not interested in, and this is not to be mixed up with like compromise, because in any bond there'll be compromise, right? I'm not interested in changing who I am and who I've worked so hard to remember that I am. If we're going the spiritual route, right? I've had to do all this self-work to be comfortable in my skin and to be my authentic self, enough to get on this camera and speak to y'all about it. I don't want anybody coming into my life and telling me, yeah, but maybe we could spruce this up, or maybe we can adjust this. I think that energy is a waste of time, and I think it'd be more productive to use that energy to go within and figure out who we truly are and what we truly love, so that we can just attract the things that come to us naturally. So me and Cash just wanted to come here, give you part 2. We're not, me and that young man, by the way, it's a no. It's a hard no. And I think he knows that. I think he gets I think he gets it. Like, after we kind of all left dinner for my birthday, I think he kind of looked over and was like, this is not going to go the way. No, it's not going to go that way. But sweet guy. And maybe this video being out in the ethers will also denounce more of that energy finding me, because I'm really who I am on the internet. Like, who I'm giving you is Dana. So Cassius looks like he's about to take a nappy poo, and I'm gonna let you all go. I'll see you in the next episode. Sending you my love and my authenticity. Peace.